Hello everyone and welcome to Better Every Bucket, Episode 2. Hello everyone, welcome to Episode 2. Please mind the new addition of the headphones. Figured out from last clips that the audio was not great because it was coming from my phone and the wind and things would interfere, so I'm using the headphones as a microphone. And so today I will be covering the driver slice, and I see it happen a lot with amateurs, intermediates, and even sometimes with more advanced players when sometimes they forget or lose their swing altogether, and that creates a slice. And so the slice, some people say it comes from your grip if you're using a strong or a weak grip, or the way you're turning your body, or anything to do with that. But in reality, those things impact your swing path, and the swing path is really what gives you your slice. And so today I'm just going to be going over a couple tips, thoughts that you can think about while you're swinging the driver, which will ultimately, hopefully, let you think a little bit more. I know they say don't think, but help you think a little bit more while you're hitting the driver. And so you know what you're doing and you have a plan kind of attack when you step up to the driver, so you can think about your swing path, and that will ultimately help you hit the ball straighter, maybe even a little bit of a draw, or at least when you're slicing it, you know what you're doing wrong. And so quickly, just hit a slice right here. Okay, hopefully you can see that, but that curved to the right and just landed. It landed over there, so you can see that was a little bit of a slice. Okay, now getting into some thoughts that I hear a lot of golf lessons and instructors say, and I used to wonder what the hell that they actually meant. And so a lot of golf instructors will say, swing low to high, or come inside out for the ball. And I used to wonder, what does that mean? And I think swinging the driver and mishitting it a lot has really kind of shown me what the do's and don'ts of the driver is. And so the reason a slice occurs is because in very slow motion, you're here, you come back, and then when you're about to hit the ball, you come from the outside, and then you address the ball from the outside, and then that's your swing path. So it goes outside and in, and that puts right spin on the ball. And so correcting that is the whole idea, and it's harder than a lot of people think. And so just going off the last video real quick, you want to have the same setup every single time so you can hit it consistently, and understand that it's almost as process of elimination. So I can take away my grip, or my stance is the reason I'm hitting the ball bad. And so one of the ways I've learned to fix this slice is the takeaway. And so instead of taking it away and reaching up high like this, instead reaching low, and that's what it means by low to high. So reaching low and across your body, and so that will naturally prevent you from coming over the top, and instead coming around, and so that can give you a nice little draw or even a hook. So quickly I'll show that. So this will probably hook pretty great. Okay, that went pretty straight. Anyways, I had a little bit of a draw to it, because you can see how my swing path from the first clip, instead of coming over the top and around like that, I'm coming here, and so my club is coming from the inside. So if there's a line right here, it's coming from the inside, and when it addresses the ball, it then crosses the line instead of crossing that line early. And so if I put a club right on that line, you can kind of see how when I hit it here, and I'm coming around, and the only time I'm crossing that line is when I'm addressing the ball. Where if I were to slice it, I come over the top and I'm crossing that line early, and then I cross it back over the wrong way when I address the ball. So let's get that out of there. So I'll show what happens when you come a little high and address the ball or cross that line too early. So you're coming up, and that's an aggressive slice right there. So I landed all the way to the right over there. So a lot of people think that you can fix this slice with just your grip, and that can help it start straighter, but really that will not prevent the slice at all. And so one of the ways you can start hitting it consistently more and more is starting low to high, like I said previously. And so I started with the backswing. So the low backswing, as opposed to here, you're taking it along your body and then breaking it. And then when you come down, you want to come up. And so it's almost like you're swinging to first base. If there's a baseball diamond, you're swinging to first base right there. So I'm trying to swing to first base. And my club face being closed is why it will not go to first base, but instead it will draw. So again, I have my grip like last video. I have the same grip every time in the same stance. And so I'm going to take it as low to high very slowly. And although that didn't go anywhere, you can see that the ball still went straight. And if I didn't top the ball, we're all still learning, but if I didn't top the ball, that would have been going straight and probably would have had a decent draw. And so half the battle of this slice, and one of the things that people really don't focus on, is the backswing. So some things to keep in mind that can help you go get more of an inside to out club path is keeping your right elbow tucked. And that's something that I personally want to focus on a little bit more. But when you're taking it up, you want to have your right elbow attached to your body. And so you're taking it back, and that will naturally make it so you're coming low. Where if I detach my elbow is detached, and now my swing path is going to be high to low instead of low to high. And so you can see I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit. And that's a healthy slice. Took some distance off, and that sliced almost about 90 degrees. And so instead, if I just attach my elbow to my body the entire time, you can see that really my swing path has to become a natural draw, because there's no other way for me. Unless I detach it and then come around, there's no way for it to come outside and then cross that line the wrong way. Not quite the loft, but if you see that one pretty straight, more straight than the slice, and it's going to the left instead of to the right. With the driver, with my stance, if you can see, if I can put the ball on the tee. Let me grab this club back. This time it's going to be even with the ball. When I set up to the ball, I have my feet right in the middle. I'll move my left foot forward a little bit and then take whatever's comfortable backwards. I might take a couple steps back here just because my driver's a little longer. But now you can see my left heel is in line with the ball, and then my right foot is behind. Also, one of the things is when you're using a very closed stance, it's very hard to come around. That's going to naturally sail right, where if I'm starting a little bit more open, it is very natural to make it go to the left. And so now just demonstrating closed versus open real quick. These might not all be good because I'm exaggerating my natural swing, but I'm going to try my best to exemplify it a little bit more. So here I'm going to be closed and really exaggerate it so you can see that my body is almost facing this way as opposed to out that way. And so that's curving to the right. And it started right. Started right and curving more right. So now I'm going to hopefully do the exact same swing, but I'm going to start a little bit more open. And just to also make a point, when we're talking about consistency, you want to have the same tee height every single time. As instead, if I change my tee height to much lower and try to hit the ball, it's naturally not going to hit as high up on the face or the sweet spot. It's going to land somewhere down here, and it's either going to roll or be a line drive, and that's going to take a lot of distance off of your swing. And so now, stepping up, I'm going to use the open instead. So I'm fully open, facing about 15 degrees to the left. And so I'm going to take it back. And it started left and then curved a little right because that is my swing path. And so now if I change my swing path, I'm going to stay open again. And so now I'm going to change it to exaggerate a lot. So hopefully it will curve left right here. So right there, heavy draw. And sorry, Blackledge Country Club, I hit that ball over the fence to the left. I am sorry about that. So you can see how getting the ball to start a certain way matters from how you're positioning first and not as much as how you're addressing the ball. Because at the end of the day, when the driver is moving so fast, you really can't tell where the face is going to be at impact. You have to rely on your swing path, your fundamentals, and really just the way your body is moving. And that's why practice is pretty damn important. And so open rather. And so that's going to start left just naturally. I twist my body the same way, where if I'm closed right here and then swing, by the time I get open, the club face is already open here and it's going to start to right. Another important tip that I've learned that helps me, that hopefully will help some other people, is the way your hips and chest lean when you are swinging. And so I used to swing very upright like this, and that's very easy to come over the top, and that's that swing path that we don't like. And so instead, you see pretty much anyone on the PGA Tour, it's like bending the knees instead of up here. They're pretty much tilted almost 45 degrees with their hips. So just giving a demonstration real quick. I'm going to be very upright, almost no knee bend. Just going to take distance off too. Hopefully you guys can see that. That went curved a little bit to the right, a little too much. And I also was very rigid, and that is never good. When you're trying to swing the driver, or any club for that matter, you don't want to be very tightly. You can barely move. You want to be able to flow nice and easy. Doesn't help that I'm kind of sore, but anyways, now I'll have some knee bend and come straight. Another thing, real quick, you don't want to have your shaft like this. That naturally gets you unconnected and makes you come over the top a little bit more. Even if you can reach back, just not a great habit to have. And so you want to lay your club down. And I know in the last video I said let the club dictate your stance, but with the driver, it's not like an iron, it's completely different. And so you want to set up, have your arm almost straight down, and then the shaft the other way. And so I'm right here, and that arm down will make it so I naturally come farther back, where here I'm coming over here, taking it off. And actually, one more thing, I lied. I'll take that ball off the tee. So when you're coming back, another important thing is I see a lot of golfers doing, and I was always guilty of this, but when you take the club face back, opening it way too much, and so now you almost have no prayer of closing that club face and hitting it straight. And that's going to make it start right. It won't necessarily make it slice. Again, that's all up to your club path, but it will make it so it starts right. And the same thing with closing it all the way. You're going to come around and it's going to start very low, so, or very left. And so quickly I will never open. I'll keep it completely closed the entire way. Okay, so sometimes I'm not a great teacher. That one went pretty straight, but that's okay. That's why we're all learning. And so I think a good rule of thumb that's helped me is when you have the club, you have your stance, you have your grip, you're going to stay connected, is that when you get here, so my club is horizontal to the ground, my club face is vertical to the ground. And that's the same thing when you finish. When it's horizontal on your finish, you also want it straight up and down. And so just a quick thing that I used to work on a drill, take it back here, then finish here. And that'll teach you to roll over the wrists a little bit more, closing the club face at impact. And so hopefully you can see in this video, I'll swing kind of lightly, but straight as I could ask for. And that's because the way I took it, I knew that between here and here has to be here. So if I can repeat that every single time and make sure that I'm here and here at impact, it's going to tighten my dispersion a lot. So quickly putting it all together. So as I said in this video, the slice has everything to do with your club path and nothing to do with your grip, your stance, the balls you're using, the tee height, anything to do with that. The only thing that impacts your slice is your club path. What impacts it starting right, left, or straight is how your club face is at impact. But the way your club face is moving has to do with how it spins while it's in the air. And so even if you come from the inside out, when my club face is open, it's going to start to the right and it'll draw a little bit. If I come straight through the path, my club face straight, it's going to go dead straight, hopefully. And then if I come from the outside in and having it closed, like this, it's going to start left and keep going left. Or right, rather. It'll start left and then slice. And so putting it all together, I have my same stance, same grip that I always use. My torso tilt is at a good angle. I'm not straight up. My shaft is flat here. My grip is the same every single time. And I keep my elbow connected to my body. And so when I take it back, I have that same lean. When I follow through, I also have that same up and down of the club face. And so not taking it back too far and really working on almost, my father used to tell me, hit the shins of the person behind you. And that's an exaggeration, but if you come here, hit the shins of the people behind me. And so if I come nice and low here. We're redoing that one. It was kind of embarrassing. Don't really swing like that normally, so they gave me some grace. So even though that rolled, not my normal swing again, but that curved extremely to the left. Where instead, if I take it up and down, that one curved a little bit to the right and didn't go. And so you really want to find the Goldilocks in between that. So just real quick, one more time. My stance, my grip, shaft with my arm, torso, and connecting my elbow, and then coming back. So hopefully that'll help you hit a slight draw. And so coming low, not high, but low with your hands. So I'm not coming up with my hands, coming low with them. Low to high, right to first base. Hopefully that's first base. So low to high. And if you are swinging and you don't really know what's going on, just one tip that I've actually learned that helps a lot is hum. Hum during the entirety of your swing. So there's some science behind that, where you're trying to keep your diaphragm raced, stable. And so you're nice and stable. You're not getting outside of yourself, even though you want to be loose. And so I'll hum real quick. See how I lost my hum there? Now I'm going to try to keep it the entire time. Same pitch, same everything. Sorry. So I just want to say thank you to anyone who's watching this. Really just bring these things out to hopefully either give you a refresher or teach you something new about your golf swing. So hopefully you can see some improvement, or at least take a tip that maybe lessens your slice. Let's do hit a little draw or a 350 dead center, which obviously everyone dreams about, or at least me. And so thank you to everyone who's watching. Have a great day.